Our culture right now tells us that racial justice warriors and their social justice compatriots are the best, the most righteous, the most beautiful people in the world, and whatever they do is worth it and just and right. Take a look. Yeah, this looks like, well, violence and carnage to most normal people. But for the mainstream media and for the woke left, this is, well, fixing systemic racism. This is beautiful stuff. None of these people were arrested. This was part of that amazing movement that even Barack Obama said had to happen. This is beautiful, but do you want to see something horrific and horrible? Here it is. One rock through one car, and we have a horrible racist incident on our hands. Now, this just happened in Florida yesterday. Hey, folks, we've all seen a lot of viral videos, right? We've seen some awful things. Sometimes we see funny things. You tell me, what is it we're looking at that is so disturbing? A viral video, somewhere before it, a window was broken. Take a look. This is making international headlines right now.
Right here, buddy. Right here. Tell me what you were doing. Burning out, racing through my neighborhood. Burning out, racing through my
you not to.
Get out my face.
I'm not in your face. Get out of my neighborhood.
Gun? Who got the gun?
The guy who's got a permit to carry it.
You're the one that would get a gun.
All right.
Get out of this neighborhood.
All right.
Get out of this neighborhood. You don't belong here.
But y'all want to smash the window? Smash the window?
Yeah, he did.
All right. How does that stack against viral videos that we've all seen? I didn't see any violence. I did not hear the N-word or racism that I could detect. I didn't see much of anything. As far as videos, things that people watch all day long, this is quite lame, tame, although at this point it's racked up several million views because the villains are those affluent-seeming gentlemen who are white, and the person who took the video is this individual. His name is Jermaine, and let's take a look at how the media is already portraying him. He is officially the victim. Now, the victim of what? It's unclear. His car was damaged, but there's a lot more to this story, although they're not telling the whole story. Two men in that video who were angry, they're both arrested, all right? They were, boy, they really mean business in Florida, the jumpsuits and everything. All right, let's see what happened. Show me the raw tape first.
Get out my face.
I'm not in your face. Get out of my neighborhood.
This is the cell phone video he captured after he was confronted and surrounded by white neighbors while he was trying to park at his friend's house. He said one of the men, now identified as Howard Hughes, struck his car with a cone and said Donald Corsi threw a large rock through the window.
And he explained the story to me, and I'm like, you mean to tell me that grown men did this to you?
Sorry, that's the news footage, okay? Grown men did this to you. Now, you can't throw a rock through somebody's window, right? I mean, you can if you're protesting for social justice. That's a totally different story. But a white man may have done it. And he may have had a white friend who threw something else, a rubber cone. What happened next?
His mother called it scary. They believe this was a hate crime. Even though Jermaine's passenger was white, some of the language directed at him by neighbors made him feel discriminated against.
Get out of this neighborhood.
All right.
Get out of this neighborhood.
Neighborhood. Get out of this neighborhood. Okay, I've heard worse. What's that all about? Where is this coming from? Will the reporter ever tell us why these people are upset? What happens next?
The two men were arrested for charges related to the rock and the cone. We stopped at Donald Corsi's business to try to get his side of the story, but no one answered. Records indicate Hughes is a supervisor for a business that runs McDonald's franchises in Orlando. No one returned our calls from there either.
No respect. This is a neighborhood where little kids play. And you come running out here like you think you're a race car driver.
But he didn't think adults in that neighborhood handled it the right way.
I don't think what they did was right. I don't think they had the right to throw a rock through my car and damage it. and also assault my friend with the coon.
All right, so they're glossing over it, but it looks like speeding was involved. We'll get to that in a moment. But did you see showing up at the guy's business? I mean, the media, they're in full-on cancellation mode with this story. Next.
And Jermaine told us he doesn't know if he really even feels safe going into this neighborhood anymore. He said he had nightmares that very first night after that happened. And then last night he said he had trouble sleeping.
Those are not very significant consequences, are they? I had trouble sleeping last night. So what? This reporter, though, is playing all the right notes when it comes to the virtue signaling.
They feel like if this driver was a white guy like me, for example, even if I was speeding through that neighborhood, it never would have escalated to a situation like this.
Did you hear what he said? A white guy like me. Ooh, I hear this all the time from white guys. It's very pejorative, by the way. I don't like it. White guy. What do I know? I'm just a white guy. Oh, if I were a white guy, it's a status virtue signal. Not good when anybody does it. So what about the speeding? He said he would not have had a hard time if he were speeding through the neighborhood. This didn't make the piece. The kid was speeding in the neighborhood. Big time. Take a look. Yeah, that would definitely perturb homeowners, don't you think? Especially those with little kids in the neighborhood. And that's just what we saw. What else happened? And oh, by the way, talk about reckless. A passenger was hanging out of the car at the same time. This is a danger to themselves and to the community. Clearly, people were upset. And you're allowed to be upset in America. Yes, you are. You are allowed to be angry at people, even if they don't look like you. By the way, speaking of the victim, I'm just wondering, quite frankly, if maybe his vision was somehow obscured and he hit the gas by mistake. I mean, we need a full and complete investigation. That's possible. Now, the guys were arrested. Again, just look at them. I mean, these are evil-looking guys, right? They must have done something. I mean, look at them, right? You get what's going on here? They're villainized right off the top, just by their appearance. I mean, to be angry and white in America and a man, watch out. Watch out. That's not a good thing. And everybody's got a camera. I don't like the discussion that's happening regarding race in America. It's a silly conversation to avoid having an important, substantial, consequential one. It continues all the time. Who remembers these very important cases culturally, at least? Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Jacob Blake. They're doing a retrospective on MSNBC this weekend. They're focusing on the fathers of these men. Take a look.
We see that picture of that young man. All he was armed with was a bag of Skittles and an Arizona iced tea, shot and killed by a neighborhood watchman. And then you have a year and a half later, Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, a scuffle with the police officer. Mm-hmm. The officer says he feared for his life, shot him down in the street. He laid baking in the sun for 4 hours, and we know what happened after that. Jacob Blake in 2018 was being detained, shot 4 times in the back by a police officer. Yeah. He is paralyzed. He's still with us.
All right, now this is definitely the Reader's Digest, woke Reader's Digest version of what went down. Very, very abbreviated. Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman was found not guilty. Anybody who knows anything about that case knows that he was defending himself, fighting for his life. That's a cute picture of Trayvon, but it was old and it does not depict the person he was that night, not by a long shot. Michael Brown. Nobody ever seems to point this out, that the Obama Justice Department said that the shooting was justified, or they look at this video just moments before he was killed, where he seems to be essentially robbing a convenience store. And Jacob Blake grabbing that knife and turning to threaten the officers. This is all left out in that little summary that we had on MSNBC. But this is about them, but it's also about the fathers of these gentlemen. They find the fathers. And, quite frankly, in my opinion, from what I know, at least 2 of them were deadbeat dads. Yeah, they were. But now they're glorified. Tracy Martin was there. He did a lot of time in jail and was not there for Trayvon Martin at critical points in his life. They're going to gloss over that, though. They're just not going to go there. Mr. Brown, the father of Michael Brown, also similarly troubled and absent, according to the mother of Michael Brown, absent for vast portions of this young man's life. Now, this is the father of Jacob Blake. He has something to say, and he says it in a pretty racist way.
When that 18-year-old walked into that grocery store in Buffalo, New York, that white boy walked in there and killed those people. It never was a question of how his parents raised him.
Never.
That was never a question.
Well, actually, it was a question, but how they raised him was the question. How they raised him. But they raised them. They raised them. All right? That man suspected in the Buffalo shooting, horrible, was raised by his parents. We know that. And still, we had a total horrible catastrophe. The parents did raise him. How? We don't know. But they were there. Man just framed it so poorly, inaccurately, and with a little bit of hate, calling him a white boy. You can call him, I guess, whatever you want at this point. What am I getting at here? We could have a conversation like Barack Obama wanted to have about fathers in the black community. Too many fathers going AWOL. Too many fathers in the black community going MIA. I look forward to this Father's Day special on MSNBC, and I wonder if they will explore that angle. Will they? I shall be tuning in.